Welcome to Huddle Up,
Brought to you by the Fields Huddle Group.
Jaguars senior writer John Oehser, NFL Network Analyst and former Jaguar Bucky Brooks, and senior reporter J.P. Shadrick bring you the latest on your Jacksonville Jaguars. Huddle Up starts right now.
And welcome in. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, Wednesday of Week 18, New Year's Eve. We're 8 hours away from 2026. We've got a busy show ahead. Our last look at the Jaguars-Colts. Jaguars got a win on the road last week. First look at the Titans-Jaguars this week in Week 18. And yes, the division comes down to Week 18. A win or a tie for the Jaguars, and the Jags would be division champions. A loss or a tie for the Texans would also secure it for the Jaguars. We'll get into all the scenarios coming up. And Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks is brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. See Fields first. Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com. J.P. Shadrick, John Oehser from the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center in Jacksonville. Bucky Brooks. Well, I guess it's 2026 for him in about 11 hours in Los Angeles. Good afternoon, Bucky.
What's up, guys? No. I'm on East Coast time. I'm gonna sit here on the couch. I'm gonna wait for the ball to drop, whether it's Ryan Seacrest or Anderson Cooper, whichever one, and I'm gonna watch them serenade me into 2026, and then I'm gonna click off the TV and go to bed.
Nah, I got to figure you're roaring through the LA club scene tonight. I mean, this is
sunset.
This is Bucky Brooks night out there. They named it after him.
I made a little deal. With my daughter. My daughter's hanging out. She's going out on Sunset tonight, and I asked her, I was like, hey, can I be a +1 with you and your girls? Like 19 years old, I can get you in the club, like whatever, we can do all the other stuff. She was like, that'd be a negative. So because of that, it's me, Anderson Cooper, and whoever else is on TV tonight.
So you're saying her friends are not wowed by NFL media's Bucky Brooks?
I did not get the invite, and in fact, I got the pre New Year's Eve dinner last night.
Oh, okay.
Like, let's go out on the. Oh, we're going out on the 30th? No, New Year's Eve is the 31st. Nope. Steak dinner the 30th. That's what we're doing.
That's what it is. It's that time for you, Bucky. The Jaguars are a win away from the division title. We'll get to all those playoff scenarios coming up. Let's take one last look at last week, though. Jaguars trailed 10-0. They had a couple of backup offensive linemen. They had another guy who was sick on the offensive line. They kept playing, found a way. Defense shut down the run game, John, and gave this Jaguars offense an opportunity to kind of get on its feet a little bit. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags offense had 2 red zone giveaways in the first half and then settled in. He ran for a couple of touchdowns. Wasn't the cleanest game. Didn't matter. They found a way to get the result last week.
Yeah, look, when you follow teams, or like as I follow a team, it's gotten good, which hasn't happened here in a while. But you start to look for, are they checking boxes that make you think they're good? The run defense has been that all year. Trevor started to ascend. He's like, okay, well, there's a quarterback in place now. So many things. And during this 7-game winning streak, this was sort of the first one that checked that box of, can you be down early on the road and calmly just sort of show over the last, 40 minutes of the game, we're better, we're not going to panic, we're going to keep making plays, and we're going to get this game. You do not build long winning streaks if they're all double-digit games. You have to get through a couple of these. They had gotten close games before, but they were sort of hectic, miracle-type games at Arizona and the Raiders.
Yes.
Where the fourth quarter of that felt like
chaos.
Holding your breath, and whichever team, made the play at the end was going to win. This one, Bucky, to me, was more of a, the kind of game that good teams, New England, Kansas City, how many times when they were really good, those franchises, did you sort of turn on the score and say they're down 7 and say, well, yeah, they're going to win that one because they just win those. Jaguars one of those types on Sunday, and I think that means something for maturity.
Yeah, look, John, I think it was one of the more impressive wins that they've had during the streak, not because of the way they played, the way they executed. They didn't have their fastball, but they found ways to win. The 2 red zone turnovers really stopped them from being able to put away an opponent early that they were clearly better than. But playing from behind is a different type pressure, particularly in a game where you're supposed to win. And the thing that I wanted to see, and I kind of welcomed the challenge, was to see how would the sideline, how would the team handle the adversity. And I could tell you, man, at no point would they panic. At no point did they lose their composure or get overly emotional. They just kind of locked in and just did what they needed to do to win the game. And even going in at halftime and listening to the players interact with each other, listening to the coaches, there was never a sense of panic. If anything, there was a doubling down on, hey, guys, this is us. It has nothing to do with them. If we eliminate the self-inflicted errors, they can't beat us. And what they did in the second half, for the most part, they got rid of those mistakes. They locked in, and they found a way to win. That is exactly what you want to see, and what some would say was a very pressurized environment, knowing that this team had to win because the Houston Texans are nipping on their heels to win the division.
Yeah, I'd say that you said the word pressure twice in your analysis, and that's exactly what it felt like. Watching the game, once they caught, it was 3-0, and their tight end, Mallory's son, caught the pass that the Jaguars played great defense on. Ball's in the air. I'm writing down ink, which INC, incomplete in my notes. And I look up and he's caught the ball. Mm-hmm. And having done this for a while, we've all seen games. And I looked over at Kai, who I sit next to, and said, it's going to be one of those. I mean, all of a sudden, I knew on that play, this was not going to be a game where the Jaguars are kneeling at the end. You don't know, but it felt like it was going to be that. They hadn't been in that situation, and I think the way this team has handled the pressure, and Bucky talked about it, they lost to Houston 7 games ago. Mm-hmm. Basically, for the division, every game's been a must-win game since then.
Because Houston hasn't lost either.
Now, it hasn't been completely must-win because you sort of felt once they got to that point like they were going to get in the playoffs. That took a little pressure off. But if you want to win the division, if you want your goals, all the home stuff, again, having that accumulated pressure with this singular pressure, this team's never been here before, and yet they're handling these situations that they don't really have experience in. And that's unusual to me.
Yeah, look, very unusual. And I will say this, and John and J.P., you guys know because you talk to the players all the time. It is the one time where I feel like the players have completely drank all the Kool-Aid that the coaches have been spilling. The way that they talk, it is an extension of what Liam talks about. When they talk about process-oriented as opposed to worried about outcomes, Liam talked about how they never talked about winning the division or playoffs or Super Bowl or any of those things. They just talked about competing at the highest level that they could and focus on the preparation, just live with whatever the results are. You now hear players uttering those same sentiments like, hey, we just got to lock in and do the same things we do every week. Make sure that our practices are good. Make sure we know exactly what we're able to do. And then on Sunday, man, just roll out the balls and let's see what it looks like. To me, that's when you know this team is really connected. And I honestly think that has enabled them to play without feeling the weight of the pressure that they should be feeling given the situation that they're in as a 12-win team, still needing to clinch the division.
Jaguars defensively shut down Jonathan Taylor in the second half. He had 19 rushing yards. Phillip Rivers wasn't going to throw it more than 25 yards down the field. You can kind of feel that as the game went on, so they could really key on the run game and, be able to play on the back end. And that's pretty much how it stood out. And this Jags run defense does it again, Bucky. I mean, they've proven it time and again that they are the number 1 run defense in the NFL.
Yeah, this is a really good defense. But I got to tell you, and I know Peyton Manning years ago said that halftime adjustments are overrated. But I'm going to tell you, each and every week when I watch this team, they do adapt and adjust to what the opponent is doing. There have been so many times where we've seen a team go up and down the field in the first half and find that those things that they were doing early no longer work late in games. Anthony Campanile has done a really good job of tweaking the scheme, putting the guys in the right position to make plays. And even though he is very fiery and feisty in those things, there is a calm and cool about him when it comes to calling the game that enables him to play without emotion. Because you would think someone that is fiery like that, they'd be very emotional as a play caller. But I can tell you he's not, because if he was, he wouldn't be able to make the adjustments. He wouldn't be able to call the game the way that he calls it, to take in the information in terms of who's in the game, what I'm playing with, what I'm lacking, and still put this team in a position to win. This unit is really, really good. And I think what a lot of the national people are missing is they see the takeaways in those things. What I don't think they see is the way this unit controls the game. I can't say that they're a shut them down defense, but man, they really neutralize you and make you play left-handed, which is what every defensive coordinator wants the offense to have to do.
Yeah, I think when you play the Jaguars that you might beat them, you might get some yards, but you're going to have to work for it. And I've been saying all year, as soon as third or fourth week rolled around and you started realizing, they're consistently good against the run, I think that's been the pillar that it's built on. Because, look, they're not a incredibly great pass rushing team that is just like the Texans, for example. Like when you drop back against the Texans, they're hitting you every play. That's not really what this is, but they stop the run and put themselves in a lot of situations to get turnovers, a lot of situations to be on third down. And then they get enough pressure on third down where the quarterback can't be comfortable. I don't know if the quarterback's scared, but they're worried and they're feeling it, and they don't quite have time, on 4 or 5 consecutive throws to do it. So it's, I think it's been a remarkable job by this defensive staff of getting the most out of what they have. And I'm not saying that as an insult, because there's some talented guys on that defense that allow them to play this way. But it's not that, just peel your ears back and scare quarterbacks defense, but they're a good defense despite that.
Yeah, and we'll see what they can do this week against Cam Ward and the Titans when we return. It's week 18. The Jaguars with a win or a tie or a Texans loss, and a tie would be the AFC South champions. We'll take a look at the Tennessee Titans, and if you want customized Jags furniture for your home, check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. Zip Chair furniture for fans. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. For over 50 years, Fields Auto Group has been America's premier family-owned luxury auto group, selling the most iconic brands in the world. We understand the luxury customer and provide an extraordinary car buying and service experience. It's not just about selling cars. Fields is focused on building lifelong relationships. We invite you to visit Fields and enjoy an honest and memorable luxury car buying experience.
What's the best part about lawn care during the winter? You can give it a rest. Lawns only need watering up to once a week. Really, that's it. Using less water means you're saving time and money that you can put towards something else. Before you run your sprinklers, remember, give it a rest and only water up to once a week. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
Hi, it's Sam Kavaris. You might know that Echo East Coast Transportation is the official transportation provider of the Jaguars. I've been a client of theirs for more than 30 years because they're from here and they're Jaguar fans too. So if you're looking for prearranged transportation from the simple to the complex, call them at 904-631-5466 or find them online at ectjax.com and use the code SAM in the special instructions box for your 15% Jaguars discount. And if you want to talk Jaguars, they can do that too.
The stadium bathroom line. It's like TSA and the DMV merged in the waters of rush hour traffic, and you're in it. No closer to the bathroom than you were 5 minutes ago. Just closer to, well, going to the bathroom. You know what actually takes a minute? Pre-ordering an Uber so no one drives impaired after the game. Take a minute, make a plan. Never drive impaired. Go to takeaminutenow.com. From Diageo, Mad, Uber, and the NFL. Please drink responsibly.
It's just stopping the run, playing our brand of defense, stopping the run. I think that first drive, they kind of went all the way down the field running the ball. They came out big personnel, ran the ball. So for us, understanding that. So obviously, we stopped the run, find opportunities to get after the passer. He's been doing a heck of a job as well, escaping and making big plays for that team. So again, this is a good team, and we're excited for the challenge and just closing it the way we're supposed to.
Josh Hines-Allen in the locker room earlier today. The full locker room footage and press conference for the quarterback today, Trevor Lawrence, on Jaguars.com and Jaguars YouTube. No Liam Cohen today. He was under the weather earlier in the day. Got to about half of the practice or so, and he is scheduled now to speak with the media at some point tomorrow. And we'll have that for you on Jaguars.com and Jaguars YouTube as well. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, J.P. Shadrick, John Oehser in Jacksonville, Bucky Brooks out in Los Angeles. Well, that conversation there was about the last time these two teams played, and the Tennessee Titans went down the field and scored on their first possession. 11 plays, 70 yards, a field goal, led the game 3-0. And the Jaguars scored 25 unanswered and won the football game. And Jags defense weathered that early blow and then was able to handle it, even in spite of 13 Jaguars penalties in the game, the most in a winning result for the Jaguars since 1996. It's been a while. And now the Jags have kind of taken over this series history against the Titans. A 25-3 final last time out. You see the numbers there for Trevor Lawrence and for Cam Ward, the Titans quarterback. It's just a few weeks ago, but Bucky, how different is this Titans team now? It seems like they're trending a little bit on the up the last couple weeks.
Yeah, they've been able to have some success moving the ball offensively because Tony Pollard has been involved. They've done a better job of committing and sticking with the running game. That has allowed Cam Ward to play better, and he has gotten better as he's gotten more reps. This was a tough game the first time out just because it was disjointed. They didn't have any rhythm. You talk about all the penalties, 13 penalties, and it felt like the Jaguars were just kind of climbing uphill the entire time. And even though you look at the score, they separated, but it was one of those performances where it was exhausting to watch this team having to move away from a team that has struggled for most of the season and continues to struggle. It was just a hard-earned victory. You hope that this week we can play better and not having kind of feel like the slog that it was. It just wasn't a pretty performance at all.
Yeah, that was the game, for people who don't remember, that Ross, long snapper Ross.
Yeah, Madison. Right.
Easy for me to say. He was out for the first half. Right. Devon Hamilton was in, did a great job, but that was a 6 to 8 point game at the time. And every time Devon snapped, if the Titans had gotten a break, they're back in it at home. It was exactly what Bucky said. It was an exhausting game to watch. I think that's clearly the key late in the season with this game is you're at home, you're playing well offensively, get this thing to a double digit where Jeffrey Simmons doesn't scare you taking over the game. Getting ahead early in this one. Again, I said on the pregame last week, get ahead early, make them remember the Christmas trees are up, get home. Didn't quite do that. And that's tough to do in second games against division teams. The Jaguars need to start fast and get away from this team. You do not want them thinking with 10 minutes to go they can win.
Yeah, the flight to Cancun is Tuesday for the Titans. Make them remember that early in the game. He mentioned Jeffrey Simmons, Bucky. 10 sacks and all these quarterback hits, and is a problem on the interior, certainly, and he likes to get chippy and do things after the play and all these things. How do you slow him down, and what else is beyond him a priority against the Titans defense?
Well, it starts with him. This is a really good front, man. They play sound and solid on defense, and in spite of their record, they can make it very, very difficult for you to move the ball up and down the field. For Jeffrey Simmons, you got to know where he is at all times. You can't allow him to wreck the game from inside. But they got other big boys on the interior that can make it happen. And then Arden Key is going to play at a high level because that's Arden Key playing against his former team. This game is going to be chippy because it's the Titans and the Jags. And what we have to do is we can't kind of fall into that making it personal. We just got to beat them up professionally, get out of there, win the game, win the division, have some T-shirts and hats, and then figure out who we play next weekend.
Yeah, they're good largely because of him. 10 sacks for a defensive tackle is good in any situation. It's really good when you're never ahead, which they're not very, if you see a guy on a struggling team on the interior of the defensive front be able to get 10 sacks, and guess what? He's really good against the run. The Jaguars have struggled a little bit in trying to run on the interior. This is a matchup where you may have to show you're running on the interior a little bit and then say, okay, we're going to figure out how to get this done without trying to do that.
Right.
Because that's tough. But look, it's people don't want to hear it because it's 3-13 versus 12-4. But this is absolutely a matchup where early, it's not the SEC, as I like to say. You're not going to see 21-0 with a bunch of easy touchdowns and a lot of celebrating early. I don't think it's going to take some high level of play for the Jaguars to pull away in this one.
What, Bucky, have you seen the last little bit from Cam Ward, quarterback for the Titans? Is he getting better?
Talented. Yeah, super talented. He makes great plays outside of the structure of the offense. And he's not playing with a lot, like playing with a bunch of young guys that are out there trying to figure it out together. But I would say, man, he's a competitor. He's resilient. He doesn't back down. And, you can get a 4 days effort from him in terms of trying to play and compete in those things. But I think everyone has to come into this game with the right mindset. And I think that's not only players and coaches, but fans or whatever. You have to anticipate this being a hard-fought, gritty, grimy game that will eventually pull away from the Titans in the end in the fourth quarter. But if we go in there thinking that we're going to blow them out and do those things, that's just not how this game is going to unfold. And it's going to be one of those things where our frustration can turn to anxiety and work against us. I think the team is really good at understanding how to methodically beat teams down. I think everyone in the building has to do that so we don't have this angst that kind of permeates throughout the crowd.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, I think last Sunday is a blueprint. I mean, I would be worried about it. I think it helps them that they got that done last week because there will be more anxiety this week. You're at home and you feel,
and it's on the line. There's no more games. This is it.
An immature team could start saying at halftime, "Hey, I thought we were supposed to, this is supposed to be over with. It's supposed to be done." But they could have felt that way last week too. So, again, I thought last week was remarkable on that front. They had not been in this situation before and handled it without undue stress. Now, I think some of the reason they could do that is because you weren't worried about Rivers going downfield. Mm-hmm. So defensively, it was very, I would say easy. It's not easy, but very clear what you had to do to stop that team. Cam Ward's more dangerous on that front. That probably can create a big play easier than the Colts could. Mm-hmm. There's a danger there. But, look, the Jaguars are better if they play the way they've been playing the last 8 weeks. Over 60 minutes being better will allow them to eventually make the play that causes them to pull away. They just have to continue to believe in that, and belief in that has never been a problem for this team.
Yeah, and don't kick it to Shim DK, please. Do not. Just kick it out.
Like, honestly, like what John is talking about is true. When you're playing a team that you're clearly better than, the thing that you can't do is give them opportunities. And people are talking about the DBOs don't beat ourselves. It's turnovers, big plays allowed, penalties, and then kicking game errors. The only reason the Indianapolis Colts were close last week is because 2 red zone turnovers cost us points or whatever. If not, that game becomes a blowout in due time. Against the Titans, I think this has to be one all hands on deck, guys. We don't have to get outside of ourselves. Just don't mess this up. They cannot score enough points to beat us. So just don't give them any extra opportunities.
Yeah.
We're back in a moment. And the defensive coverage of the game. We're going to get to that when we come back. The defensive coverage of the game as the Jaguars face the Tennessee Titans in Week 18 and try to wrap up a division title. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Finally, inventories and prices are customer friendly.
That's because summer's here, so let's keep it real at the Field Summer Sales Event.
We have vehicles on the ground and ready to go. All new makes and models to choose from, even electric cars and SUVs. Stop searching for your next luxury vehicle and see Fields first.
And get an incredible offer like this.
Right now, save up to $10,000 on remaining new 2024 Porsche models in stock at Porsche Jacksonville. Go to PorscheJacksonville.com.
The kick is up. It's good! Field goals for Firehouse Subs are back. That means when the Jags score from deep, you do too. Anytime the Jags score a field goal that's 40 yards or more, you can get a free medium sub with the purchase of any other medium sub, online or in the app for 4 days following the game. So cheer on the Jags, watch for the big kicks, and get your buy one, get one free medium sub at participating Firehouse Subs throughout Jacksonville when you use the app. The hottest subs in Duval. See firehousesubs.com for offer terms. Watch the game, host your crew, or just unwind at BC Grill and Patio at Sheridan Jacksonville, part of the Marriott family of hotels. Enjoy craft cocktails, tasty bites, and indoor-outdoor seating perfect for watch parties, happy hours, and events. Mention this radio ad for 10% off food and drinks. Visit SheridanJacksonville.com or call 904-564-4772.
Huddle up, My Gate Rewards members. Football is back. Celebrate with the Duval Meal Deal at Gate. Right now, grab a personal pizza and any 20-ounce Coca-Cola soft drink for just $4.99. No matter what combo you choose, this meal's the perfect play. Happening now through January 5th, 2026. See store for details. A deal that's a victory for every fan. Gates got you.
The group up front's done an awesome job, and I think that's something where it seems a little bit counterintuitive. Like scrambling, you see guys running, a lot of times people think like it's because there's not protection, but a lot of times the reason you're able to scramble and make these plays is because the protection is great, and sometimes coverage covers guys up downfield, and you find lanes, and they've done an awesome job up front of really being sticky in their blocks, and I've been able to have escape routes, whether it's outside, inside, and there's been a lot of lanes for me to be able to run and extend plays. So that's a big part of it. And then I think just as I've gotten more and more comfortable in the system, progressing, saying no to certain things, I'm able to get through my progressions. And when there isn't something there, I'm not sitting back there in the pocket waiting forever on something that's not coming open.
That's quarterback, of course, Trevor Lawrence earlier today. Full press conference at Jaguars.com discussing his running ability. And he's closing in on 4,000 yards again, 248 yards away, passing from 4,000 for the season, and one rushing touchdown to get to 10 this season. He would join Josh Allen in 2023 of the Bills, Cam Newton 2011 of the Panthers as the only players in NFL history with 4,000 or more passing yards and 10 or more rushing scores in a season, if he can knock that out this week.
Another sort of stat along with that, he has 39 rushes for first downs this year.
That's pretty
good.
I
saw it today. And I mean, and you know me, JP, I talk about stats very rarely. But that stat's pretty interesting. That's four, I'm not very good at math, but it's about 3 first downs a game. And doesn't it sort of feel that way, Bucky? Like big first downs out of this guy at big moments.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so you said it 39 rushing first downs.
Yeah.
Over a 16-game period is about 3-ish.
2.5.
Okay. All right, JP. All right. Florida's the Harvard of the South.
3. He's rounding way up, apparently.
Hey, I applied to Chapel Hill. I applied.
I just got lost with the math problem because I was sitting there like, wait a minute. Like, we go 3 times. Okay, all right. However it works. In his mind, it works.
3-ish.
The main point
they accepted
is
my application.
Trevor Lawrence is definitely using his legs. It's been advantageous for the offense when he does that. We've seen him become a threat. And it's funny that you mentioned Josh Allen and Cam Newton in that. And even though Trevor isn't necessarily running like that, I think the thing that all of those guys evolved to is they started to use their legs. And what we have, these gotta have it situations, meaning critical situation to get a first down, run. In the red zone, particularly tight red zone, run to score touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence has done that. 8 rushing touchdowns is a very significant number. That means down in the red zone, from a defensive standpoint, you not only have to guard all the perimeter weapons, but you need to account the number 16 either on a design quarterback run, an option play, or an impromptu run. Changes the way people have to play. The thing that I love about what Trevor is doing, all of this speaks to his newfound confidence, his newfound trust in the system. He talked about being able to bail on plays because he knows that progression is not going to come open. So now he's doing it. And even the sacks that he's taking are closer to the line of scrimmage. So it's a 1 or 2 yard loss as opposed to a 7 to 10 yard loss, which gives the Jaguars an opportunity to get back on track on the next down. He's just playing really good football, high IQ football, and it's not all reflected in the numbers when it comes to completion percentage and passer rating. But, man, you'd be hard-pressed to find quarterbacks that are playing much better than him right now.
Yeah, and I like what Bucky was talking about because it plays into what Trevor was talking about a little bit today. He made a point, and he's right, that he's running a lot, but it's more because he's running on plays where the coverage shuts down the play, as opposed to running out of desperation because there's pressure. And think about how many times this season he's gotten productive gains when he's sort of shimmied up a hole, and his touchdown, not on the called quarterback draw the other day, but when he immediately saw it wasn't there and got through a hole in the line. It wasn't like the blocking was bad. And I think the point that Bucky made about fewer sacks this year where it felt like he's, falling backward, 9 yard loss, risk a fumble. A lot of sacks where he has run forward and fallen 2 yards short. They're showing the play now. That was exactly what Bucky's talking about. Not a what Trevor's talking about. Not a panicky situation when he's running, but running with purpose. And it has been a huge part of this offense this year. And I can do the math on that.
That's good.
That was 6 points.
That's great.
0 plus 6. 6.
Love that.
Bucky, Chapel Hill.
Love that. Yeah.
I mean, I like that. I mean, it's the new math. Maybe I just learned math a little differently, but it's the new math that works for you, and it's working for Trevor. He's understanding it. And we talked about this team, and look, I didn't know that we would get to 12 wins and maybe 13 wins this year, but Liam and coaches have talked about before you learn how to win, you have to learn how to avoid losing. And you have to make these plays, and you have to eliminate the negative plays. And Trevor has done that. And he's done a better job of not compounding mistakes by turning the ball over. And when the Jaguars play like this, they're a very difficult team to beat because they don't give up big plays on defense. They're keeping the ball in front. They're stopping the run. They're dictating the terms. They get big plays in the kicking game. And as long as we're not giving away extra possessions on offense, man, we're in every game, and we found a way to close games out in the fourth quarter.
It's sports writer math, JP. It doesn't have to be right. It just has to fit your story and sound right.
I mean,
it didn't sound right. We called that out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Old Bucky.
We're not fact checking. We're not fact checking.
No.
Like it's a new era.
No,
like,
fact checking is for newspapers.
Yeah.
We're in the internet age.
I saw Bucky's face when you did the math. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I guess we're going to go.
You're just new. It's just new to me. That's it.
Fair. Defensive coverage of the game presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association. Benefits for federal employees and retirees. We take a look quickly at the Titans offense again. Tony Pollard had 3 straight games over 100 yards in 3 straight stretch. And then last week, 85 yards on 18 carries against the Saints. His last time out. Of course, the Jaguars have been great against every running back they faced this year. In the passing game, Cam Ward just over 3,100 yards passing, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions in his rookie season. And the leading receiver is still the tight end, Chig Okonkwo, 54 catches and just under 600 yards with 2 touchdown catches. DK, the punt returner, kick returner, has also contributed 4 touchdowns receiving this year. We're back in a moment. We'll take a look at the AFC playoff picture. The Jags with a win or a tie are the AFC South champions, and this is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Finally, inventories and prices are customer friendly.
That's because summer's here, so let's keep it real at the Field Summer Sales Event.
New inventory is arriving daily. All new makes and models to choose from, even electric cars and SUVs.
Visit Fields today and find the fit for you.
And get an incredible offer like this.
For a limited time, get $3,000 off all Lexus TX350s in stock at Lexus of Jacksonville and Lexus of Orange Park.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguars sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow! Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Chelsea here. Ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors before the new year? During Renewal by Anderson's December sales event, buy one, get one 40% off. And with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months, it's never been easier to say yes. Renewal by Anderson's Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida, designed to help you save on energy bills while keeping your home comfortable year-round. Offer ends December 31st. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com. License number CGC 1527613.
Before you break ground on any project, make sure to call 811 before you dig. Sunshine 811 is a free service to have underground utility lines marked before digging. For projects of all sizes, creating a game plan can save you time and money. Skipping the call could mean accidentally hitting underground utility lines, which can lead to injuries, expensive repairs, fines, and even service outages in your neighborhood. Let's keep everyone safe. Dial or click ahead. Find out more at peoplesgas.com/811.
Sometimes, to be honest, getting on the ball in tempo has been some of our best possessions, especially early in the season. I think now we've settled into more of a rhythm offensively, and we've been just better overall. But early in the season, I remember that was something that we did. Really, one of the best things we did was get on the ball and go. And I think guys just going out, playing, not thinking, gets the passing game clicking a little bit. And we've just been really efficient. You know, something I pride myself in is being able to get points in all those situations, and our offense takes a lot of pride in that. So that's taking care of the ball, but also staying efficient. I think as a quarterback is you want to take the big plays when they're there, but if you can get the drive started, a lot of times that helps, especially with the better field position now. You get a couple first downs, and with Cam as our kicker, I mean, you can kick it from just about anywhere. So I think having that confidence, you play pretty free too, because you know you got a guy that can make it from anywhere.
That's quarterback Trevor Lawrence earlier today discussing the 2-minute operation. They were in the red zone in 2 minutes before halftime last week before Lawrence threw an interception in the end zone, but his answer as to the rest of the season is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. See Fields first, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. J.P. Shadrick, John Oehser, Bucky Brooks. And it's come down to Week 18. The Jaguars with a win or a tie would be the AFC South champions. They would also be the division champs with a Texans loss or tie against the Colts. But it's in the Jaguars' hands, Bucky, and I don't know if you can ask for much more in terms of the division. And the rest of the ACC, there's still the ACC. What did I say? What
ACC football.
Atlanta
it's fantastic.
That's what I mean.
Hey, look, that's okay. Like ACC, I dig it.
And the rest of the AFC, boy, the North, Steelers, Ravens coming down to the wire as well. The Chargers are resting everybody, and well, at least the quarterback, and probably some other starters against the Broncos. And then the Patriots play the Dolphins in Foxborough. Is there any chance, Bucky, that the Jaguars could be the number 1 seed, considering what the Broncos and Patriots are facing?
I mean, there's always a chance. I mean, you never can discount that. I mean, the Chargers took a little bite out of that matchup because the Chargers had knocked off the Broncos early in the year, and now that they're resting everybody, it's a long shot to get up there. But you never know, man. When you play the game, you just don't know how it's going to play out. But, yeah, I mean, those teams certainly aren't doing us any favors. But guess what? Doesn't matter. Spot the ball, put it down. Whoever we have to play in the postseason, preferably at home, but on the road, it doesn't really matter because this is the rare year where it is wide open. And whenever we start the tournament, you just need to be hot for 3 games. You're hot for 3 games, you can find yourself in the Super Bowl at Levi Stadium.
The Dolphins are a little interesting because they are playing, I get they're playing a backup quarterback, but they've showed a lot late in the season. Sort of, I don't know the dynamic there. I don't know if they're fighting for McDaniel's job. I don't really know how that building works, obviously. But they're playing a young quarterback who this game matters very much for his career. And they're playing a team. I mean, the Dolphins clearly have not mailed it in. So if they get up, they could decide they want to play hard in the second half. So you never know. That being said, the Patriots in recent weeks have done a very good job against teams they ought to beat, and they're playing at home. So they're probably the 3 seed if they win. But, again, there's really no reason they can't go win if they get that seed, as Bucky said.
True.
Yeah, and I'm trying to work against myself because normally I would be the guy that tries to plan ahead and go through all the debates and which team should we play, which team is a better matchup. But taking a cue from this team, it doesn't really matter. They match up well against all of them. You look around and see whether it's the Chargers, the Buffalo Bills, or even the Texans having to play them. I mean, like, it doesn't really matter. We can beat all those teams. But the playoffs are going to be hard because you got to play your best ball, and you got to play your best ball against a really good team. That's what we have to gear up for, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
It's supposed to be hard, JP.
If it was easy, anybody could do it.
It's the hard that makes it great.
That's true.
Yeah.
So true.
I mean, but I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't mind being able to coast through. I wouldn't mind a little JMU action. You know what I'm saying? A little James Madison on that first line to kind of ease into the postseason before we have to play one. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen for us.
Doesn't exist in the National Football League. That's the college football playoff. Week 18 first, though. First things first, the Titans and the Jaguars, Everbank Stadium, AFC South on the line. The stadium needs to be full. Tickets at jaguars.com/tickets or 904-633-2000. Bucky, looking forward to it. We'll see you here at the bank this Sunday. Appreciate it.
All right, Buck.
Should be fun. Looking forward to it. Let's get it.
Bucky Brooks is out of here. The Titans-Jaguars matchup presented by Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars. For Bucky Brooks, John Oehser, I'm J.P. Shadrick, our entire crew, Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.